deep in the endless darkness of space. The small Terran outpost drifted quietly. Stars shimmered in the distance, and the silence was broken only by the low hum of the station. Captain Elena Cross stood on the bridge of the ECS Whisper, the smallest warship in Earth's fleet. She looked at the readings on the main screen. Her eyes sharp and calm. Suddenly, a blip appeared on the sensors, growing larger and brighter by the second. Jonah, the young sensor officer, leaned forward, his voice trembling. "Captain, hundreds of ships." "It's an armada," he said. Elena turned, her face calm. "Show me," she replied. The view screen filled with shapes, massive and sleek, moving in perfect formation. Alien ships of every size glided through space, their hulls glowing with deadly energy. The armada dwarfed the tiny HFY Whisper, making it seem like a toy in a child's hand. The alien commanders activated their comms, and a booming voice echoed through the void. "Humans, surrender now. Your species is weak. Your technology primitive, your planet worthless." Laughter followed the words, not just from one ship but across the entire armada. They mocked Earth's smallest warship, thinking it harmless. Elena leaned back in her chair, still calm. Her crew was tense but trained for moments like this. She addressed them quietly. "Focus, everyone. We do not panic. We observe. We calculate." Sensors showed hundreds of alien weapons charging, beams of energy forming long lines in space. Jonah gulped. "They're preparing to fire, Captain. This could destroy us in seconds." Elena's lips curved in a faint smile. "Good. Let them think that," she said. "Their arrogance will be their mistake." The HFY Whisper was small, lightly armed, barely faster than some alien scouts. Yet its hull hid secrets no enemy could predict. Hidden energy cores and experimental shields rested quietly, waiting for the moment to wake. Elena knew the armada underestimated her ship completely. They had laughed, called her vessel weak, thought victory was guaranteed, but humans had never been simple, and sometimes the smallest spark could burn the largest fire. Alien ships moved closer, forming attack patterns in perfect precision. Their leaders sneered at the idea that one small ship could fight back, but the crew of the Whisper stayed calm, monitoring enemy positions. Engines hummed softly as the ship shifted its angle. Preparing for the first maneuver, drones extended from hidden bays, scanning for threats, weapons powered on, subtle energy flows running like veins through the ship. Every system waited for Elena's command, ready to unleash what the aliens never expected. The Armada commander spoke again, a deep voice filled with arrogance. "You cannot survive this attack, humans. Surrender now or be erased." Elena looked at the screen, her eyes cold, unwavering. "We do not surrender," she said. A silence followed, almost electric, as if the universe itself held its breath. The alien laughter faltered for a fraction of a second, a tiny crack in their confidence. The smallest human ship, they would soon learn, held dangers far beyond its size. Engines on the ECS Whisper flared slightly, a subtle warning to the aliens. Energy shields hummed in anticipation. Hidden weapon bays glowed faintly. The Armada drew closer, thinking the humans were still weak, but the first strike from the ECS Whisper would change everything. Captain Elena Cross stood tall, calm, and confident, her crew ready, her ship prepared, and the galaxy about to witness a moment no one would forget. The laughing Armada did not yet know their mistake. They thought this would be an easy victory. But Earth's smallest warship was not just a ship. It was a promise, a warning, and a secret waiting to be unleashed. The alien Armada closed in on the ECS Whisper. Hundreds of ships moving like a storm in the void, their massive energy beams glowed. Cutting paths through the blackness, Jonah monitored the readings, his hands shaking slightly. "Captain, Their weapons are fully charged. They could destroy us in seconds, he warned. Elena Cross remained calm, her eyes scanning the fleet. They expect fear, Jonah. Let them keep expecting it, she said. The first wave of energy beams struck, ripping past asteroids and empty space. The ECS Whisper shifted at impossible angles, its engines glowing bright. The small ship dodged the beams with precision, weaving through death like a shadow. Crew members tightened their grips on controls, heartbeats quickening. But Elena's calm voice guided them. Steady. Follow the rhythm of the attack. The alien commanders laughed as they watched the tiny ship dodge their fire. They are weak, yet they move like insects, one of them said. Their arrogance filled the air, confident victory only a moment away. But Elena knew their overconfidence was a weapon of its own. Hidden systems on the ECS Whisper began to hum. Subtle energy flows traveling through the hull. The first strike from the ship had been defensive. But the next would be different. Drones emerged silently from hidden bays, moving toward the nearest alien ships. They were small, fast, and armed with piercing energy tips. The aliens barely noticed them at first, dismissing them as minor annoyances. Then the drones fired. Precise shots hitting engine cores and shield generators. Explosion after explosion flared along alien hulls. Metal twisting and tearing, the armada faltered for a moment. Confusion spreading through their ranks. But the aliens still laughed, calling the damage insignificant. Elena studied the battle calmly, calculating angles and velocities. She spoke softly. Prepare for the main strike. Wait for my signal. The crew nodded, understanding the gravity of the moment. The ECS Whisper was small, but its hidden systems were deadly. Weapons designed to strike multiple targets at once. Energy that could slice through a battleship. The aliens did not know, and that ignorance would cost them dearly. A massive alien cruiser fired directly at the Whisper. Energy crackling like a storm, the ship dodged. Twisting in space with impossible agility, Jonah whispered, "They are aiming to destroy us, Captain. We cannot last long if they fire together." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Let them waste their strength, Jonah. The moment will come." Every sensor and scanner on the Whisper worked in perfect harmony. Every crew member moved with trained precision. Then, at the exact moment, the ECS Whisper released a burst of energy. Hidden weapons activated, glowing with deadly light. The drones launched in swarms, striking shields and engines. A small cruiser exploded, then another, sending the surrounding ships into chaos. Alien officers shouted, trying to regain control. But their formations were broken, their confidence shaken. The ECS Whisper moved through the chaos like a phantom. Each movement deliberate, each strike calculated. The Armada's laughter faltered as they realized the small ship was no ordinary target. Captain Elena crossed her arms, watching the damage unfold. "Let them see what happens when they underestimate humans," she said. The alien fleet scrambled, firing in desperation. But the Whisper dodged every beam, struck with precision. The hidden weapons bays glowed faintly, preparing for a larger strike. The crew worked as one, calm, efficient, deadly. Even as explosions rocked nearby ships, they remained focused. The smallest warship in Earth's fleet had already changed the battlefield. And the aliens had no idea of the true power still hidden inside. Across the void, the ECS Whisper prepared for its ultimate reveal. The first strike had shaken the Armada, the real attack. The one that would erase their arrogance. Was coming, Captain Elena smiled faintly. "Wait for it," she whispered, and the Armada had no idea what was about to hit them. The ECS Whisper floated silently in the middle of the chaotic battlefield. Alien ships scrambled around it, still laughing at what they thought was Earth's weakest warship. Captain Elena Cross stood on the bridge. Calm and confident, her eyes scanned every enemy ship. Every weapon, every movement. She knew the Armada underestimated her. They did not know the secret the ship carried. Inside the Whisper, hidden compartments slowly opened. Energy cores glowed brighter, powering systems long dormant. Drones shifted into attack mode, extending their wings and sensors. The hum of power filled the small ship. Low and steady, Jonah whispered in awe, "Captain." "They will never see this coming," Helena nodded. Her face unreadable. "Prepare the pulse," she said. "Let them feel what they mocked." Outside, alien ships closed in, confident, arrogant, and ready to destroy. Their weapons flared. Beams of blue and red energy cutting through the void, but the EC's Whisper moved like a shadow. Twisting through space with impossible speed, drones darted around the larger ships. Small sparks appearing as they grazed shields, the aliens laughed at first. Thinking minor scratches could not harm them, then the first pulse hit. A wave of energy larger than any one ship shot outward from the Whisper. It tore through shields like paper, slicing engines and hulls. Explosions rippled across the Armada. Alarms screaming in every deck. The alien commanders were stunned. Their laughter cut short by fear. "What is this weapon?" One shouted. Another cried, "Impossible. No ship can do this." But the EC's Whisper did not stop. Its hidden energy cores pulsed again. Synchronized with the drones, each wave more powerful than the last, ships began to explode one after another. Some disintegrating entirely, the Armada's formation collapsed. Confusion spreading like wildfire, Captain Elena watched calmly. Her hands resting on the console. "Target command ships next," she said. The Whisper's pulse grew stronger, sharper, more focused. A massive alien flagship exploded in a blinding flash. Nearby vessels tried to escape, but energy nets trapped them like eye. The Horizon-class drones darted through the gaps, hitting weak points, each strike precise, deliberate, and deadly. The smallest ship in Earth's fleet became the deadliest presence in the sector. Alien officers shouted in panic, sending frantic commands. They tried to regroup, to retreat, but the IX Whisper was always one step ahead. Its sensors anticipated every move, its drones blocked every path. The pulse repeated, wave after wave. Tearing through ships faster than their weapons could fire, Captain Elena spoke over the comms. Calm and cold. "We warned you," she said. "Earth is not weak." The remaining ships tried desperate maneuvers, firing their heaviest weapons at the Whisper, but each attack was dodged or absorbed by hidden shielding. Energy beams glanced off the hull, failing to leave a scratch. The alien commanders finally realized the truth. They had mocked the wrong ship, underestimated the wrong species. Their pride crumbled in the face of human precision. And the EC's Whisper continued its relentless attack. One by one, alien vessels erupted into fire. The pulse from the Whisper erased entire wings of the Armada. Explosions painted space with bright orange and blue light. Even the largest ships trembled under the assault. No one in the Armada had seen a weapon like this before, and no one expected it from Earth's weakest warship. Captain Elena stood silently, watching the destruction. Her crew worked calmly, guiding every strike. The hidden power of the Whisper had been unleashed. The laughing Armada would soon learn that arrogance against humans carried a deadly price, and the galaxy would never forget the moment a tiny ship erased what thousands of alien vessels could not withstand. The alien Armada was in chaos, their ships scattered across the void. Explosions flared in every direction. Bright against the blackness of space, command ships burned. Smaller vessels disintegrated instantly. The EC's Whisper glided calmly through the battlefield, its hidden energy cores glowing steadily. Captain Elena Cross watched the carnage, her face calm and unreadable. She knew the aliens had made a fatal mistake. They had mocked the ship, underestimated humans, and now their pride would burn in the void. Alien commanders shouted orders, trying to regroup. Shields flared weakly, engines faltered. Their formations were broken, strategies collapsing. No, this cannot be happening, one cried. The arrogance of the Armada evaporated in seconds. Replaced by fear, every ship was vulnerable. Every maneuver predictable. The humans had turned their weakness into a weapon. The ECS Whisper's drones moved swiftly, striking engines and weapons. Ships that tried to flee were trapped by invisible energy nets. Commanders struggled to maintain control, but the fleet was broken. The pulse waves from the Whisper tore through the remaining ships. Their hulls shattered, their shields failed. The Armada's morale crumbled completely. Even the bravest officers looked at each other with panic, realizing their ships were doomed. Captain Elena gave one calm order: target the command fleet. Finalize the strike. The Whisper's hidden systems pulsed brighter than ever. Energy surged through the ship like a living force. Every strike precise, every calculation perfect. The alien flagship erupted in a massive explosion. Fragments scattered in every direction. The remaining vessels could do nothing but flee. Even their fastest ships were caught in the wake of the energy pulses. Jonah watched the destruction, amazed. They never expected this. "Captain," he said. Elena nodded, her eyes still on the screens. "They thought we were weak," she said softly. "Now they know the truth that humans were not just survivors. They were strategists, warriors, and unstoppable when pushed." The Horizon-class drones struck from the shadows, hitting vulnerable points. Ships that tried to escape were forced to collide or explode. The Titan-class support vessels followed. Blocking every exit, energy beams crisscrossed. Lighting up the battlefield, the aliens realized too late. They had challenged a species they could not predict. They had mocked the smallest warship. And the price was total devastation, one by one. The alien vessels were destroyed or disabled. Engines tore apart, weapons overloaded, hulls cracked open. The Armada, once a symbol of terror, was now a scattered, broken fleet. Survivors fled, leaving the battlefield in shame and fear. Captain Elena watched them leave. She knew the humans had made their point. The smallest ship had erased the strongest Armada they had faced. And no one in the galaxy would ever laugh at Earth's warships again. The Aegis Whisper glided through the aftermath. Calm and steady, its crew moved efficiently, repairing minor damages. Checking systems, Elena crossed her arms. Proud but silent, the aliens had underestimated them. And now they had learned. The laughing Armada would remember this day forever, not as a victory, but as the moment they faced a species they could never defeat. And the galaxy would whisper the legend of the smallest warship that erased an entire Armada. The remnants of the alien Armada limped away, battered and broken. Engines sparking, hulls cracked, pride shattered. The ECS Whisper floated in the void, calm and victorious. Captain Elena Cross stood on the bridge. Her eyes sharp, her posture steady, she watched the aliens retreat. Knowing the battle was won, her crew breathed quietly. Some smiling, some still tense. They had faced the impossible and survived. Jonah checked the sensors one last time. "All enemy ships are retreating." "Captain," he said. Elena nodded. "Good. Let them tell their commanders what happened here." She knew the story would spread across the galaxy. Humans were no longer to be underestimated. They had shown that courage, intelligence, and preparation could overcome any odds. The Aegis Whisper moved slowly through the battlefield. Drones retracted, energy pulses fading. The Titan-class vessels returned to hidden positions. The Horizon-class drones vanished into the shadows. Unseen but always present, even the smallest human ship had become a legend, not for size but for strength, skill, and cunning. The alien commanders sent desperate messages, pleading for mercy. Your species. We underestimated. Forgive us. Elena listened calmly, her hands folded. She pressed a single button, transmitting a final message across the void. Leave Terran space and do not return, she said. Earth is not weak and we do not fear anyone. Silence followed. Then the aliens turned away, disappearing into hyperspace. They had learned the hard way. Humans were not to be mocked, not to be challenged across the galaxy. The legend of the ECS Whisper spread like wildfire. Stations, colonies, and distant fleets spoke in whispers of the ship that erased an entire armada. No one laughed at Earth's weakest warship again. No species underestimated humans again. For the first time, humanity earned respect and fear, not through intimidation, not through numbers, but through courage, skill, and unbreakable will. On Station 12, the crew celebrated quietly. No shouting, no cheering, only quiet pride. They had protected their home, their planet, and their people. Captain Elena spoke to her crew, calm and proud. Today, we proved what humans can do, she said. Today we stood unbroken. And no one will forget it. Her words echoed across the station. Filled with authority and truth, Jonah looked at her, awe in his eyes. We actually did it, Captain, he whispered. Elena smiled faintly. Yes, Jonah, we did, but remember, this is only the beginning. She knew the galaxy would test them again. Other species would challenge humans, some even stronger. But they had learned the hardest lesson. Do not mock, do not underestimate, and never forget that humans fight differently. The ECS Whisper powered down its hidden systems. The glow fading, the ship returned to its normal small size. But the legend of its battle would never fade. Across distant stars, across alien civilizations, stories of that day were told, the day Earth's weakest warship erased an entire armada. And humans watched without fear, standing unbroken, proud, and unstoppable. A new chapter for humanity had begun, one that no alien armada could ever erase. And as the stars shone quietly above, Captain Elena Cross and her crew prepared for the next challenge, confident, calm, and unshaken. For they were humanity, and humanity would never bow.